Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel and welcome to yet again another foundation review and actually yet again another very highly requested foundation review. I was actually inundated, like completely overwhelmed with requests to review this foundation and actually a really funny thing happened. We're talking about the new Mcgrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. I actually ordered this off the Sephora Australia website like literally the day that it launched, and it was so funny. I had no idea that it was also coming in PR, but the same delivery guy delivered my order from Sephora and the PR kit as well, and I was just like, it's too much of a coincidence. Like, I just thought it was really funny. The PR kit is really beautiful. It's actually stunning. Now, we've got a couple of products to test. So not only are we going to be testing out her brand new foundation, but she's also released a primer, a setting powder, and a couple of brushes to go alongside this foundation. So we're going to go through all of the products. We're going to test them out on my oily textured skin, and then I'm going to be doing a wear test all day. We're going to see how these hold up and whether or not this is a product that you are actually going to be able to wear all day confidently and have your skin looking really nice. So yeah, if you're interested in seeing a full in-depth review on the brand new Mcgrath Skin Fetish complexion products, then please keep on watching. All right, so first up, packaging is absolutely next level. And actually, I will also quickly mention, if you've seen my previous review video on Mcgrath products, you will know that I did not have a very good experience at all. I will link that video in the description bar below. And a lot of you have been asking, did I get a resolution out of that? Because I did actually contact, them to express the situation and kind of what happened. I did hear back from Sephora, but then there was no follow-up about anything that had happened. So that's all that happened. I'm going to be doing this review as a standalone review. So, not going into a bias because of my previous experiences, because so many of you really do want to know, are these products actually worth the money? Because let me tell you, they are a lot of money. They are very expensive. So yeah, we're going to review this and try and... we're just going to try and forget about what happened last time. And honestly, if you haven't seen the video, I'll link it below. It's scary. All right, so first up we have the Skin Fetish Sublime, is it Perfection? Yeah, Sublime Perfection Primer. Really beautiful packaging. It's like a little black canister and the label is really beautiful. Now I will link the prices for these products in the description bar down below. I'll show you the US and the Australian prices, but yeah, this is like over $100 or something for a primer here in Australia. Like, it's really expensive. Now this one's supposed to be primer and skincare sort of all rolled into one. It's got a bunch of really amazing ingredients in it, including hyaluronic acid to really hydrate the skin. It's supposed to really perfect everything, really hydrate, really brighten. What does it say? Hydrates and renews with a sublime silken effect that instantly turns back time on your complexion by preventing transepidermal moisture loss. Yeah, so basically it locks in moisture while you're wearing it during the day, but also smooths the skin. So that's that one. And then this here is the actual foundation. How gorgeous is this box? It's like this beautiful black box with gold writing. And then you lift it up to find your foundation inside. And the foundation packaging is honestly stunning. So this is the foundation model. Isn't it beautiful? So pretty. Got like a little transparent label on the bottom, the lid, gold label on the front. Now I'm not sure. It is. It's a pump applicator. For some reason I thought it might have been like a pour out, but really beautiful bottle. Like, I actually really do love the packaging of this. Now this is a very interesting formula for a foundation. So not only is it a buildable coverage, so you can either apply it with your fingers to apparently get a really smooth, sort of like beautiful, natural, soft finish, or you can also apply it with a brush to get more of a perfected kind of a finish. The other thing that makes this cool is it's like a serum, like a skincare serum and a foundation all rolled into one. It says on the website, builds weightlessly from a sheer veil to flawless medium coverage, comes in 36 universal shades. The nourishing formulation is crafted with a Vita Serum complex. So this is the skincare serum that I was talking about. Oh, what does it say? Oh, fights wrinkles by preserving the hydrolipidic film barrier of the skin. Boosts hydration by activating ceramides. It's got like diamond core powders in it to optically smooth and blur the skin. To blur, hide the appearance of fine lines, texture, pores, all of that. It scatters a light. It sounds actually amazing, like really incredible. Paraben free, you do get 35 ml of product in this one, and again, she expensive. I will link the prices down below, but in Australia, $115. I know, because I purchased it off the Sephora website, and I was like, oh, Say what? Really, really pricey. And then finally, we have her new setting powder. So this is the Pat McGrath Labs Sublime Perfection Setting Powder. So all the products are named the same. This is a really nice canister. You all know I like this kind of packaging. We know. So this one is supposed to be silky soft, super blendable, ultimate finishing touch to set makeup. Weightless, buildable, formulated to complement the foundation. Yep, okay. So this one is a tinted setting powder as well. It does come in 5 different shades to complement the foundation shades. It's got amino acids in it to ensure skin adherence. Like all of these products have got a really, really long list of features. So really, really nice. Again, so expensive. But I'm definitely really interested to test them out. So that is the packaging for this one. So I think a good way to do this video today will be to apply my normal, like my primer that I use all the time and my powder that I use all the time, the ones that I know and love on one side of my face with the foundation, and then compare them to the other side using all of the Pat McGrath products, because that should hopefully give you guys a good indication on, you know, which ones don't work, which ones do, and whether or not you need to purchase the whole set to get the foundation to work, which hopefully you don't, because you'll have to sell your soul to be able to pay for them, honestly. Oh, and also quickly before we jump into it, the 2 brushes that launched, we've got a foundation brush and a powder brush. Again, phenomenally expensive. And in fact, to buy the 2 brushes, the foundation, the primer, and the setting powder, it's 415 Australian dollars. Oh my God. These brushes are about $100 each. Yes. Wow. So I'm just popping Luminous Veil on this side of my face. This is my usual, you know, most loved Holy Grail primer. All right, so the primer is quite thick. Oh, it's definitely got a lot of silicone. Like I can see it already. It's like that blurring texture on the back of my hand. But let's apply this. Doesn't really have a scent to it. Actually feels really, really nice. It's really lightweight. And it is blurring my skin, but it also isn't blurring it and giving it that really awful slippery silicone, you know, like that really, really over-the-top silicone feel. And when you're like, yeah, my foundation's just going to slide right off my face. It's not giving me that at all, but I do feel like it is blurring the skin. Feels light, feels hydrating. Does it feel like it's worth $100? I don't know. Feels beautiful though, like truly it does feel really, really nice, and it is drying down. Once it's sort of settling into the skin, it's drying down and becoming less tacky, so cool. Now we are moving on to the foundation. I've got 2 shades, light medium 14 and light medium 13. I matched myself to light medium 13 on the Sephora website when I purchased it, so we'll see which of these actually matches me. This is light medium 14, which actually looks like it will match pretty well, so let's go ahead and use this one. Now, like I said, there are 2 ways to apply this foundation. You can use your fingers for a very natural, barely there kind of a finish. Let's just quickly try that. Kind of the texture of it, like it is a very, very runny sort of a consistency. Kind of reminds me of MAC Face and Body. Like it's very, very runny, but it actually does, like it applies quite nicely with the fingers. It does look quite nice on the skin. So that's the first way to apply it. But the second way to apply it is using a brush to get like a bit of a higher coverage. So what does it say? Diffuse the foundation by using sweeping motions as you blend it out. Apply product in thin layers and buff to gradually build blur and create luminous medium coverage. All right, so medium coverage. It's not looking like we're going to get full coverage out of this one, and I am using the Pat McGrath foundation brush. It does apply really quite nicely, actually. Certainly medium coverage, but it looks very beautiful on the skin, like very sort of soft touch. Ooh, okay, look how nice that looks on my skin. For medium coverage, I'm not sad about it or mad about it. The color is actually quite good too. All right, so this is what it looks like on the Pat McGrath primer side. Really, I think my skin looks beautiful. It's dewy, it's glowy. I just feel like it looks really healthy and radiant. Really, really pretty. So that was technically 2 pumps of foundation, just 1 layer applied with the brush on half of my face. We'll move on to this side now. I've got the same amount of product going in with the brush. Oh, my hair, get out of the way. Working this over the skin. And it is actually cancelling the redness quite well. I've got a couple of breakouts at the minute, and like I feel like it's covering them quite well for a medium, like a light to medium coverage foundation. It covers, like it gives coverage, but it's not like too much coverage. You can sort of see your skin through it, but at the same time, it's very flattering. I don't know if that's actually going to make too much sense. So I'm just using the same sort of stippling and buffing motions. Is it blending out any better on the side without the primer? I would say not necessarily. Like, I'm not sure if I can really see a huge difference between the two sides. I feel like the skin looks just as beautiful on both. Yeah, I can't see a huge difference. All right, so that is one layer. I mean, I should build it up a little bit more, but I'm actually quite happy with the coverage on the skin at the minute. I do think it looks really pretty. I'll zoom you in. So this is my skin with one layer. So obviously this is the side with the Pat McGrath primer. It just looks really natural. It is definitely blurring texture. It's definitely giving my skin a really radiant sort of a finish. It doesn't feel heavy or greasy. Like, despite the fact that it's sort of so glowy on the skin, it has dried down somewhat. So yeah, Pat McGrath side, like primer wise, and then Hourglass side primer wise. What do we think? I don't think I can see a massive difference. Shall we try and build it and see what happens? Let's just do it a little bit down here. So this is a second layer. Now, obviously it says quite clearly on the website that this is a buildable product. It's designed to be built up in thin layers. Oh my God, it builds amazingly though. Oh, look how pretty that is on the skin. It looks so glowy. And then we'll try and build this side too on the Pat McGrath primer side. Like, the primer is nice, don't get me wrong. And I mean, obviously we'll know more during the wear test, but I don't think it's necessary to get this foundation to blend, certainly. All right, so here is the product built up in 2 layers. So the Pat McGrath primer side, that is what it is looking like. And then the Hourglass primer side. I think the skin looks actually beautiful, truly. Really, really soft, really glowy, really radiant. I think it looks nice. All right, so I'm just gonna quickly apply some concealer in the normal areas. So just under the eyes. Might do a really natural sort of look today. And I am seeing redness sort of showing through on my nose, so I'm going to put it there as well. As far as the brush goes, I just don't think it's necessary. It feels the same as all, any other sort of foundation brush that I've used. It's nothing like it. It's a synthetic stippling brush, really. It's what it is. All right, so concealer's all blended in. I still feel like both sides of my face look relatively the same. I feel like the skin looks just as nice. And I do also feel like now that the foundation has sort of set and dried down a little bit, it's still dewy and natural, but it has got more of like a matte finish on the skin. So yeah, now, setting powder. Let's do it. Now, did I tell you? I don't think I did. So you get 5 grams. Oh, 5 grams. You only get 5 grams of powder in this. That's weird. For comparison, my Nikkia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finishing Powder, you get 20 grams. And where's my Laura Mercier? I don't even keep it here anymore because I literally never use it anymore. So the Laura Mercier, you get 29 grams. So the Pat McGrath one, in comparison to some other powders, is actually a very, very minimal amount of product. Like I said, it is tinted. I've got the shade Light Medium too. So we'll remove the seal. So this one does actually have one of those little mesh filters in the top there. I don't know if you'd be able to see it on camera. There is a little mesh filter. Now, as far as application goes, on her website, it says dip the Sublime Perfection Powder Brush, which is this one, into the silky powder using only the tip of the brush or the top of the brush, and gently apply powder by sweeping the brush across the face. Okay, I can do that. Very yellow, this shade. But it's also very, I don't know, it's kind of going everywhere. So I guess I'm gonna do what I'm told and apply it this way. So definitely sets down the foundation. It feels, it feels like it's setting it down. It's not really sort of hiding, maybe a tiny little bit, but I feel like you can still see the glow of the foundation through it, like it's not completely mattifying it. So that is the difference between the Pat McGrath powder on the foundation and here's my skin without it. Nice, but it's I don't know. I don't feel like it's groundbreaking. Okay, so on this side, we're going to go in with my usual setting powder, obviously. And because, I mean, normally I apply this with a damp sponge. It's my holy grail way of applying a finishing powder. It just smooths everything out. It just makes it look so much better. I couldn't do that with the Pat Mcgrath one because it is tinted. Usually with a tinted powder, it's just not doable and it just looks horrid on the skin. So to keep everything, you know, even and so we can compare properly on both sides, I will apply my setting powder in the same way on the other side. So I've gotten rid of the excess powder off that brush and I'm picking it up and I guess I'll sweep it onto the skin in the same way. Oh God, I still can't get over how good this smells. All right, so I've set down the skin in the same way on both sides. Okay, cool. Now, as far as texture, I do feel like this side actually feels more tacky than this side, which will obviously be the setting powder. So here's a little zoom in up close so that you can see. So here is my skin on the all Pat Mcgrath product side. Looks good. I think the foundation looks really, really pretty. And then here is my skin on this side with the Hourglass primer and obviously my NJC setting powder. So cool. Looks good, feels good. Will it wear all day? That is the question. So I'm going to go ahead and finish off the rest of my makeup. I will check back in really quickly to show you what everything is looking like, and then we'll move on to the wear tests. All right, guys, so I'm back and I've got the rest of my makeup on. I still feel like my skin is looking really, really beautiful. Still can't really tell a difference between both sides. Except for that the Pat Mcgrath powder side does feel a little bit more tacky, a little bit less locked in place. But I think both sides look really beautiful and smooth. I feel like the coverage is really flawless. My skin looks glowy. Medium coverage, but flattering medium coverage. Not medium coverage like it covers all the skin, but then you've got a big red zit sort of that wasn't covered. Like I do feel like it's really forgiving coverage, really flattering. So yeah, that is what my skin is looking like. I'm just keeping things really natural today. I also have not applied highlighter. Quite a few of you have asked if I could not wear highlighter in my foundation review videos just because, you know, it shows the oiliness of my skin a little bit better without highlighter on. So yeah, no highlighter today. So I will check in. Oh, and I will do a flash photo test as well. I'll take that after this and let you know in the next check-in. But I'll see you in 6 hours and then I'll see you again later on tonight. And hopefully my skin is still looking this fresh. At this point, I am really liking the foundation on the skin. I don't really care too much for the powder and the primer because I didn't really, like for the money, I don't think that they make a big enough difference. But the actual foundation I'm really enjoying so far. So I will talk to you all soon in 6 hours. And yeah, fingers crossed, things are still looking this nice. Okay, so we are officially 6 hours in with this foundation and oh my goodness, my skin looks amazing. It is dewy but not shiny. It is glowy but not sweaty. It does not look cakey. It has not creased. It has not separated. Like honestly, it just looks so beautiful and natural and fresh. Like I am low-key kind of blown away. The coverage still looks fantastic. I don't feel like the product has oxidized at all. Like I do still really feel like it's looking the same color on the skin. It truly looks beautiful. Like I am really, really happy with this foundation so far. I do think I look a little bit shinier on this side, the side where I do have the Pat Mcgrath primer and setting powder. Just ever so slightly sort of shinier, sort of on the side of my nose and on my chin here. Maybe a little on my forehead. This side is still looking really beautiful and matte and really perfect, but I'm definitely looking like a tiny bit shinier on this side. But other than that, oh my gosh, so impressed. I'll zoom you in so you can see. So here is my skin up close. How healthy and radiant does it look? Feels lightweight, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel uncomfortable or sticky. Feels like my skin can breathe. I don't feel like I have like layers and layers of product on. Oh, so far really, really good. Also I did do a flash photo and there was no flashback with this one as well, which is fantastic. So yeah, so side with the Pat Mcgrath primer and setting powder here and side without. I think I do prefer this side at this point just because it's looking shinier and kind of like it's worn longer on this side, but overall still looks really beautiful. But yeah, I'll see you guys tonight and hopefully things stay this good. All right, guys, so final check-in for the day. It's only been about 10 hours, but I've got to go to bed, so this is going to be as long as we can do it for today. My skin is still looking really, really beautiful. The only thing that I'm noticing is that there is dramatically quite a lot more oil and shine on this side of my face where I have used the Pat Mcgrath primer and the Pat Mcgrath powder. Now, whether or not it's the primer that's causing that or the powder. I do not know. So this here is the side where I've applied the Nikkia Joy Cosmetics setting powder. The skin looks really radiant and dewy. The foundation looks incredible. I am truly blown away by how fantastic this foundation looks on the skin. It is glowy, it is natural, it is a really beautiful, flattering medium coverage that's still breathable and still really healthy looking. It has not caked, it has not separated, it has not transferred off anywhere, it hasn't faded. Areas of redness or darkness under my eyes have not come through. Like, it is amazing. But yeah, the only really thing that I'm noticing is how much oilier I am on this side. Hopefully it picks up on camera. It may not. But this is the Pat McGrath powder and primer side. I got a lot of oil, you know, side of my nose, underneath my eyes, up here on my forehead, on my chin here. I've got a lot of oil. It looks beautiful on the face. And even though I didn't apply a highlighter, like that dewiness, that glowiness, it looks like my skin, like it looks like I've applied a highlighter in my opinion. And then in comparison to this side, things are still really glowy, but soft and radiant and natural, not quite as shiny as they are on the other side. I'll zoom you in so you can see properly. So again, this is the side with the Pat McGrath primer and powder. Still, like, it still doesn't look awful by all means. I'm not like, and I mean, yes, it's only been 10 hours. Usually I try to keep my makeup on for longer in these videos, but unfortunately this is as good as we can do. But, you know, it is shiny, but at the same time, that foundation has held up. You know, I hate foundations that when my oils come through, they break apart, they separate, they cake up. I get so much texture all around my chin. Has not happened at all with this foundation. It still looks beautiful and flattering, but yeah, it's just a whole lot less oily on the side where I have used my setting powder, which, you know, that makes sense to me because my powder is formulated to control shine really, really well during the day, whereas the Pat McGrath one, you know, necessarily isn't. So it's not really too much of a surprise, but it's actually quite prominent in the mirror. I don't know if the camera is going to show it up as well. Hopefully it does. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. It's so hard to show things on camera, but honestly, this foundation, despite the fact that it is 115 Australian dollars, this foundation is easily one of my favorite foundations that I have tried. It is just so magical on the skin. I better zoom you out before I keep talking because it's a bit scary being all up in your face. Like, I am so incredibly impressed with this. The packaging's beautiful. The formula's beautiful. It blends well. It wears really, really well. Actually, let's quickly see how well it touches up. That'll be interesting. I'm going to take it on the same brush because it's here and it's good to go. But let's very gently pat down that shine and see how it goes. This is the Nikkia Joy Cosmetics powder as well. This is not the Pat McGrath one. I just don't think that powder's worth it. Like, straight up, I don't think it's worth you spending all of that money on the primer or the powder or the brushes. I just don't think that, you know, it's necessary or worth it. They don't make a big enough difference to justify the price. But does it powder down without transferring? That's the real question. Oh, she looks good. Oh damn. So pretty much all of that oil is gone. The foundation hasn't caked, it hasn't separated or transferred, and it also hasn't, you know how sometimes when you apply a setting powder, when you've been wearing, you know, to touch up your makeup during the day, sometimes your makeup will come off. It has not come off at all. Oh my gosh, this foundation, it is nice. I mean, it looks like it's freshly applied. And even when I was editing the footage, like looking at my skin, I was like, is that my skin? It looks like I had a blurring filter applied. Like, truly, this is one of the nicest foundations I have ever tried. Honest to God, it is. Like, I know I said I wasn't biased and I was trying to go into this review, you know, without keeping in mind my previous experiences that really weren't great. But probably, to be fair, on some level, I was like, surely I'm going to have the same issues. You know, surely something's bound to go wrong after what happened in the last video, but I cannot fault this product at all. I cannot fault it. Packaging, formula, application, wear time, oily skin safe. I cannot fault this at all. This is a beautiful foundation and I absolutely recommend you trying it out. It's got a really good shade range as well. The only thing is the price, obviously, but To be honest, for me, I can't see myself going in and dropping the money on the primer or the setting powder, but I absolutely would restock this foundation when it runs out. It's beautiful. It looks so lovely on the skin, really forgiving. I feel like it made me look younger. I feel like it made my skin look really healthy, and oh, it is truly, truly, truly beautiful. Absolutely amazing foundation. Definitely recommend. Like I said, primer, powder, brushes, I don't think are necessary. The primer's nice, yes. Feels nice on the skin. It looks nice. It works well underneath the foundation, but I do feel like there are plenty of other primers out there that are not going to cost you this much that you'll be able to get in the drugstore, certainly, that will do the same thing. And the setting powder, I don't know. I think it's a basic setting powder. It does what it says it does, but it's a tinted one, so it sort of limits how you can use it. And the brushes, they feel like any other brush. I mean, I've probably got one here. Like, I've got this Morphe brush here, and the bristles feel exactly the same. There's really no need to spend $100 on each of these brushes. I think you'll be able to find other brushes. I'm sure you've already got brushes at home that will do just as well. But the foundation, oh, absolutely love it. Now, obviously, I will continue testing it. I will continue wearing it. I will let you guys know if it makes me break out. I will let you guys know if I have any other weird things happen when I try it over other primers. I will try it without a primer. I will let you know all of that. I'll update in future videos. But yeah, as a straight up first impressions, absolutely this one is worth the money. Definitely recommend. I mean, my skin just looks so good. It looks like this is 10 hours. Like, are you kidding? 10 hours of wear. That's not humanly possible at all. It's not. Am I crazy? I swear it's not. All right, guys, I hope that you really enjoyed today's video. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to know, do you think that this foundation is worth spending that much money on? What did you think of my skin? What did you think that it looked like? I want to know everything that you thought about the video in the comment section down below, and also let me know what you want to see next. I do have a couple of other foundations to test, which I'm really, really excited about. But yeah, let me know all of that down below. I love you all so, so much. I hope that the video helped you. I hope that potentially it may or may not have saved you some money, saved you some research, saved you whatever it needed to, and I will catch you all in the next one. All right, guys, have a great day or night, and I will talk to you in my next video.